It's Jen here. Please excuse the environmental noise. I have the window open. So, I wanted to touch base again regarding Latin. We are going to get back to the story and research live. I may do a live stream today. We'll see because of the weather. But I like to get other things out that are important. There's just so much to cover, and I like to keep it here spiritual and to bolster people's faith, because faith comes through hearing. I found an interesting article that kind of might tie this topic together for us. I am still learning Latin, teaching myself Latin. It's not too hard because I've always been an etymologist. I've always studied the roots of words, and most of them, at least here in the West, derive from Latin. All of our plants, all of the animals, the different kingdoms that they're all in, scientifically speaking, they all originated in Latin. But I think this this writing here, kind of ties everything up, and it is older, from 2008, which is good for me. It's also the date that it was printed is kind of a synchronicity for me. It's 2 days before my birthday and the birthday of my high school sweetheart who died when we were kids. So I read it, and I think it's pertinent. And it explains the counterfeit kingdom very well. So I want to touch base with you guys and see your thoughts. And just to bring you more information, anything that the church is stamping out right now, anything that is not trending right now, I want to know why. The church stopped doing its Mass in Latin, the liturgical Mass, and that's pretty recent, within the last couple of years here, and I don't think, well, I think that has a lot to do with what we're going through in the time that we're in, and this place being made ready and terraformed spiritually as well as physically, if you will, for some of what's here and what's coming. So it says, does the devil hate Latin? Many trads are familiar with the following phrase: "Don't worry, the devil hates Latin too." It is a humorous little jab at those who in the past 4 decades have effectively pushed for the de facto outlawing of Latin in the Latin Rite, and have treated those who adhere to the Church's perennial and universal language as reactionary inquisitors from a bygone age. But beyond the obvious implication in the statement that those who want to do away with Latin are in league with the devil, we must ask ourselves, does the devil really hate Latin? I've seen some interesting articles on the fact that Latin, when used in exorcism rites, seems to upset the demons more than the vernacular. I guess there are some theological reasons why the devil would be opposed to Latin, but the fact of the matter is that we have no way of knowing what Satan really thinks about the issue. However, while doing some research on Satanism recently, I found out some interesting things about what the Church of Satan does. The Church of Satan, founded by Anton LaVey in the 1960s, uses for its service a parody of the Catholic Mass called the Black Mass. For many years, the Black Mass was a combination of English, Latin, and French. The first Black Mass was called the Missa Solemnis, was promulgated in 1970. This earliest Black Mass used several Latin phrases such as "In nomine Domini Dei Nostri," and I'm not saying the rest. What is more interesting is that in 1986, the Church of Satan promulgated a new order of the Black Mass called the Missa Niger, which is done entirely in Latin. That's right, the Church of Satan does their liturgy entirely in Latin. The Mass ends with the words, and inversion of Christ's words to Satan in Matthew. Apparently, the devil does not hate Latin as much as we thought. Hold, please. What is that saying, that cliche? And I talk about how truth is residual. Cliches are there and they last for a reason because they have some truth in them. We are told that Satan makes a counterfeit kingdom, okay? And we are told that people only copy that which they admire and that we should be flattered and not insulted. You see, the devil steals what God already has created and claims it for his own. That's what we have to understand about the counterfeit kingdom. And another thing I want to mention again, we may not be happy with the Catholic Church or with the secular church at all at this point. But I think that I have given good reason to believe that the Catholic Church was in fact the true church. Now, please don't immediately unsub. I'm not saying that we are in agreement with them now, because I am not. I think that they should address the claims made against them either way at this point. However, please remember, and I think this is important for your soul and for this tribulation that we are now enduring and we have been enduring for a couple of years now. Whether it's the tribulation, I don't know. That's up to you to decide. But we are definitely going through trials and tribulations. I have some interesting things to bring up about social media as well, but I'll wait until we do a live for that. However, and I need your help with that. However, remember that everything Satan hates is godly, okay? The Catholic Church is being pummeled and persecuted and has been for years now, especially on YouTube and underground outlets. Remember that those who are the most persecuted are often the most righteous in God. We have to be very careful of speaking out against a church or a person of God at this point, because I don't think that will go well for you. At that point, God could allow certain things to become obstacles for you until, you learn from your error. Until we learn from our error. So again, please don't immediately unsub. I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear what you have to say as well. But I think it bears some careful consideration with all the persecution that church is enduring. And the fact that the Pope seems to be a hologram. Maybe the original guy wasn't that bad. Perhaps he was physically and literally raptured. And I've talked about that before too. If you're new here, you might want to know my thoughts on the rapture. Go back to my eclipse videos. That's where I speak on that. And we can touch on that again very soon as well. But let's get back to the matter at hand. This is the fact, a backhanded compliment to Latin. The devil does not imitate false things. He imitates true things so as to more easily deceive people. Because, folks, you don't believe a lie unless it's wrapped in truth. Snow White would not have been affected by the poison in the apple had it not been packaged in a nice shiny piece of fruit. There is no black praise and worship service to Satan based on Protestant models, but there is a black mass which is a parody of the Catholic mass, because the devil only apes that which has some substance to it. The fact that the Satanists value Latin ought to show us that there is true power in a Latin liturgy. Otherwise, the devil would not want to make use of it. Please excuse Sammy's sleep sounds. He talks in his sleep. Interestingly enough, the Wikipedia article on Satanism makes the following observation regarding the desecration of hosts. Given the modern practices of the Latin rite of the Catholic Church, which permits parishioners to receive the host in the hand, it is possible to steal a host in that manner. Though priests and Eucharistic ministers are cautioned to be on the lookout for persons who do not immediately consume the hosts, there are usually too many parishioners at any given Mass or communion service to ensure that no hosts are stolen in this manner. It's odd that he included that. Why would anyone want to steal the communal host, the wafer? It really makes you think, doesn't it? That maybe there is something at some point in time that was true about the church. Now again, we might be a little upset with them now, but I think now everything is different. People are different. Loved ones we thought we knew have changed. Our friends have all but turned their backs on us. And though I took a 2-year break from Instagram, I'm finding it very empty. even of random people who would not have known of my troubles, who would not have been part of gang stalking or any of that, have stopped posting for at least a year completely. The same is true for Facebook, even when I go into it via an anonymous account. I'm not sure exactly what is going on here, but I know that it is not good, and I know that God is allowing it and He is still in control. The things that are happening are not good, but they can produce good things in us. Allow yourself to be refined at this time. People are forgetting. The people who repent, God will heal their land and their bodies if they but pray and repent. I know people don't want to hear that, especially today. But if anyone out there is a true believer still like myself, please consider hitting the like button, sharing this video, learning the Our Father in Latin. Do something today to bring you closer to God so that you can know the truths that He has revealed to people like me. I love you guys. Stay blessed. Stay prayed up. I'll be back soon. Bye.